Hi everyone, welcome to Homeschool Autism Life. My name is Jamie. Today's video, I wanted to talk specifically about PDA or Pervasive Demand Avoidance, which is kind of a sub-diagnosis within autism. And I want you guys to know that I am very, very, very new to this. This has only come across my radar in the last 6 months or so, but I have a great deal of experience with it because we are pretty darn sure that my son, Darrion, has PDA in conjunction with his autism. And the reason why I can say this is because every time I watch or read or look up anything to do with it, I go, yeah, that's Darrion. The amazing thing about knowing this new information, and it hasn't really filtered to the therapists that I know necessarily. It's been, I guess, in the last 2 years in very specific clinics and stuff, but there's getting to be more and more research and discussions about it, which I'm very thankful for. But if you can say to your child, go have fun, and he goes, no more have fun, your child will probably have PDA as well as his autism. Essentially what it means is your child reacts very emotionally to any sort of demand that is placed on it. And it doesn't have to be a demand. Like I said, go have fun is in no way, shape, or form go have fun. It's not drink this poison, which that reaction would be warranted if I said, here, drink this poison. The other thing that they will do is maybe from across the room, they'll yell for salt, or they will ask for a drink, or they will, even though they're fully capable of doing a lot of things, they choose not to, or it seems like they choose not to. And it can feel very much like you're being ordered about by your child. With me, I noticed it when we're talking about school and doing things for school. He has a very short window of learning opportunity, and that can be really, really hard when you're trying to get schoolwork done. Sorry, I have something on my face apparently. There's a whole bunch of different things that comes to the forefront with this, but at the end of the day, what's happening within your child, which is the part that I really loved learning about, was the fact that for any ask or demand or attempt at conversation, if your child struggles with conversational skills, any of those types of things cause a nervous system response that it's like if you were asked to do something you didn't want to do because you had a bad experience, your heart starts pounding, you start feeling really uncomfortable, you try to get away from that person who's asking you to do that, and you just have an immediate emotional and nervous response that sends you to fight or flight response. And so learning that and metabolizing that is very, very interesting, because that means that his nervous system is overreacting, just like the sensory input can be overreacting, and they can't filter out that noise. They can't look at themselves and go, okay, I can totally do that. For them, it's a whole keep eat, no, and Darrion will do mommy's turn, or we've gotten to the place where he'll put on one shoe, but it's, yeah, mommy's turn or someone else's turn to put on his second shoe. So there's things like that. There's also sleep habits. So they actually, and this was such an interesting thing to me because my husband and I have not had our room to ourselves for quite some time. We also have to put him to bed. So one of the things, like, we will sit in his room till 1 or 2 in the morning until he falls asleep, and then we sneak off to our own bed. And a part of this whole diagnosis is that he needs our nervous system to be in close, I don't know, in a certain sphere in order for him to relax and fall asleep. So again, it's not about him. We thought it was due to the fact that we had I had a broken ankle in 2016 and disappeared on him for 3 days. I usually prepared him. I would tell him, okay, this is what's happening. Mommy's gonna be gone, which I'm never gone, but it was very, very traumatic for him. He had some bad dreams and stuff like that about me just dying and going away. And so for him, that we understood as he needed us in close proximity because he felt fear, and that might be what he's feeling. But we also were like, now it's gotten to the point, well, it's 2016, like that's almost 10 full years later and we're still doing it. So we thought maybe it was just a habit. With autistic children, they have their routine and it's very specific and it can't be changed, or that causes them stress. And in this instance with PDA, this possible diagnosis, he actually fully needs our calm nervous system to be in close proximity to his in order to feel safe. And I was like, okay, it doesn't change necessarily that we want him to have his own room and stuff, but at the same time we can better understand it and it's less of a frustration sometimes. It can still be a frustration. As parents, you are allowed to feel frustration, but understanding what our kids are going through always, always, always helps us kind of be clear and understand that they're not trying to be jerks to us, or they're not trying to, what was it? They're not trying to abuse us. It also explained why, intuitively, intuitively, we've learned from Darrion that the typical parenting style of setting boundaries and sticking to them and stuff like that has never worked for Darrion. So we've done the best that we could, but we've always recognized that we've had to adjust and shift and change depending on what the need was. What was the other thing that oh yes, every decision you make, every outing, every trip to the grocery store, everything, you are weighing between what is worthwhile doing versus the benefits. So cost and benefit analysis. Darrion has taught that to me, and reading up on it, they're like, this is the most, this is the best thing for parents with PDA children to learn is cost and benefit analysis. And I was like, okay, well, apparently we did that naturally. So yeah, it's definitely one of those things where as we learn, the more nuanced and more information comes out. Like, if you have PCOS, your child is more likely to have autism. We've just learned over the years that that is something that happens. And yeah, so I share this information with autism families on my channel here only because knowledge is power, and knowledge is understanding, and knowledge is you being able to go, okay, this is why my child does what he does. And hopefully there's some, I'll see if I can link some channels or write them down in the comments below or in the description box below, of just channels on Facebook or whatever that they're talking about this. And again, it's always feels good to be validated in the knowledge that you have about your child, and then have it confirmed and have a name for it. Because we did, when we went to our assessment for Darrion, I think that's the previous video, I told them, I told them we believe that he has PDA, and he was like, oh, okay. And so even that bit of understanding changes how the assessors do their job, because they're like, okay, I need to make sure that I don't ask in a aggressive manner, or I don't, like, I have to ask it, but maybe there's ways that I can do it in a way that isn't going to traumatize this child or get his nervous system up and running right at the beginning. And yeah, so I hope that this helps. I hope that this is something, if you've been looking for answers as to why your child, who's fully capable of doing great many things, says no way and makes you do it, this is something you should look into. Thanks for having the time to watch my videos. I hope this has been helpful, and we'll talk to you next time. Have a great week. Bye.